do introduction of members, starting with you, Sandy.
Sandy Flora from Delphi City Council.
Kelsey Holt, ag educator.
That should be yours.
Meany Burlington Government Representative.
There we go.
Kevin Goodnews, Ag. Doug Walker, Schools.
Brad Farr, council.
Don Chopley, County Surveyor. Jeff Watson, County Commissioner.
Cindy Harley, legal counsel.
Cameron Yates, Executive Director.
Warren Mills, office of administrator.
Okay, we'll do the approval of minutes from the May 24th meeting. Did anybody see if there's any revisions or corrections that need to be made? Or errors? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the meetings from the May 24th meeting.
Do I have a second? Donnie seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Moving on to the next one, the first basically item on the agenda for business is the rezone for the Carroll County Economic Development. Cameron, would you like to give us a summary here, please?
Yes. You guys can see on the. You guys are all familiar with the Carroll County Economic Development building out past the Heartland on the south side of Delphi, correct? So the Carroll County Economic Development submitted an application to rezone the property located at North US 421 Delphi, Indiana on May 26th. Lots 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7 are located in the Hoosier Heartland Industrial Park. It's currently zoned I-1, which they're seeking to change their zoning to I-2 Industrial. The change in zoning will give the property owners a broader variety of use on the property and bring into compliance with the Carroll County zoning ordinance. It was properly advertised in the comment on 6/15, and proof of publication is on file. The sign was properly posted out by the road where the public can see it. It's the staff's opinion that the rezoning of the property would not impede the orderly development of the surrounding properties, general welfare of the public, or adjoining property owners. It is the opinion of the staff that the rezoning would not endanger the public, health, safety, or morals of others or community members. We provide a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners for the rezoning. So that's where we're at with that, and I believe there is a representative here, Mr. Adams, speak on your behalf.
Jake, you know the drill. State your name and the record and give us a summary.
Jake Adams, Carroll County Economic Development, Executive Director. I've been with the organization and served the community for about a year and a half. As we began to look at our prospects for recruiting industry to Carroll County, one thing became evident, that our inability to attract secondary food processors primarily. I-2 industrial zoning statute states that, well, the I-1 states that only primary food processors are authorized to use in that zone, and that if they were secondary, which would be raw goods or produced goods to finished goods, that they would have to be in I-2. So we do have a couple, there's one specific project that has indicated that they're interested in locating in the industrial park. However, we can't properly move the process along without having an I-2 designation. So it's not just specifically this project. I think it opens the door and viability for the industrial park for future prospects.
What specifically is the difference between I-1 and I-2 overall?
Sure.
And I can only speak this specific language that's for food processing.
I want
to. And they are zoned I-2.
So I-2 covers all of I-1 and then adds some different items, so it's just all of I-1 plus I-1 discount. So it's just a little bit, it's broader spectrum for your options, sure why it was zone I-1, but it gives them more opportunity for counties that come in and look at it. You have your, of course, I forgot one today. If you wanna look at it, it's not a very, long section in the ordinance, it's just a few things that's added to it for the opportunity. But for this purpose, it is a big thing, because that's, if a company's looking for that sort of ground or sort of zoning, it's crucial, so I believe it's the last zoning of the ordinance.
So it didn't leave anything out, which is a good idea.
No, it covers all I-1, plus it adds more. It basically covers the entire, industrial zoning for the county.
So, as an example, food processing, manufacturing assembly, manufacture of colors, dye, paint, coatings, machine welding, manufacture of pharmaceutical, biological, medical, cosmetic, and candy products, milling and processing pork products, candy, dyeing, cleaning works, upholstery and leather goods manufactured, vehicle and employment repair, painting shops, so it opens up a lot.
And most of the leads that we look at, 3/4 of the operations that were just named in that language are in those facilities anyway, so, that would be a large reason why it's not specifically to a manufacturing process wholly, but as a manufacturing process as a piece of it. So, in the food processing being, allowing them to take the raw material and actually put it into a finished product and package.
Site two more susceptible to environmental issues or as far as like IDM,
It
talking
covers-
about IDM type, well, I mean, just environmental, air quality, all the above, and that, why would it be a significant timeline?
Environmentally, we have no control over that, that would all be state
Federal.
regulation, state and federal regulation anyway. I think when it was originally put in that way, I don't know that we were necessarily, anticipating what would come in there, so I think we tried to open it up to bigger pictures, but maybe the bigger pictures aren't ready yet, so let's get some littler pictures. I mean, one of the things we talked about when we set that area up was the hope to bring in, manufacturers that would, offset some of the needs for IPC, basically. It could take processes even further for IPC, so I know that was one of the things that we talked about. It probably should have been an I2 at that point, but I think at that point, we didn't know specifically what we were looking at, we just knew that was a good area, and wanted to try to be able to bring more industry into the county, so.
To your question on environmentals, it doesn't change the state's regulatory compliance with quality of air or material. So nothing changes, no matter what the zoning use is, it doesn't change the state's requirements. It doesn't increase the probability of any more exposure than what the state would allow in any other operation. So it's a really fair question.
One of the first questions, when they contact Jake at the EDC, one of the very first questions they ask is, how's this done? So that's for all, a lot of commercial properties and new construction, all that, that's the very first question that they research, is this zoned properly, or, so this is one of those that, like Cindy said, it was probably at the time was a little bit different format, and we didn't know what the future plan was. Here we are today, we're looking at the bigger picture, so now we are ready for the I2, but, if you guys have never toured Indiana Packers, it's, I know Kevin has and Brad, the only thing that leaves there, that doesn't leave there is a squeal. That's what we were told on it. So they, basically, every part of the hall, somehow, some way is used. So, I mean, it's a neat process, it's neat. There's parts and pieces going everywhere. So with that said, that might have been what the plan was back in the day to put something on that corner, but it's a neat facility and it's, I don't know, this piece of ground right next to it certainly is something that opens up opportunity, so.
I have one I two, not too much different, and my concern would be being permitted special exceptions, the way somehow designated 20 years from now, I can't put junkyard there. I two, come in special exception, get junkyard.
Yeah, I
And
think,
this is, I was always told the entrance to the city's gotta look good, you know, I realize Packard's out there, but it doesn't look bad to go back there, we got trucks here, but, there's some of those things that's in the special exception that could be, somebody could get through this council probably if they're good enough at it. I really don't want there.
yeah, I mean, I think, we do have protected covenants on the property, the Economic Development Corporation does, and it's pretty stringent, which permits the use of that. So they would have to, before they even got to this body, would have to pass the Economic Development Corporation's approval as first step if they wanted to use a use other than what's listed. So, it doesn't relieve your question or concern, but I think it adds an extra layer of regulatory control, for that to not happen. Yes, sir.
Anything else from the board? Public comments, right? I'll open up for public comments. 6:12, all right. First row, or row with Anita, is there anybody who wants to make public comments from Anita's row? Jake's row? Anita? Yep, come to the microphone, come to the microphone and state your name and
Anita Whirling, Mayor of Delphi. And I just want to add support to the rezone for I-2. This is within the fringe area of the city, and certainly having participated in meetings at the Economic Development Corporation and seeing the leads that come through, this zoning will, I think, increase the likelihood that we will get the type of business that we would like to see out there. So certainly in favor of it.
anybody else from Jake and Anita's row? Next row, Miriam? Row, Joe? Back row? Okay. Seeing as there's no more public comments, we'll close the public comments. Any more discussion from the board regarding the rezone? This is the same commission, right?
Yes.
So, okay. I will now entertain a motion to make a favorable recommendation to the county commissioners to rezone it. Do I have a motion? Jim? Second. Doug, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, the subdivision code.
So you guys were sent the quote from GRW, we discussed this last month, and it came in quite a bit higher than what I expected, I think everybody expected. Because we spent several $1,000s on this, I believe in 2016, so with that being said, I spoke to Cindy, and reached out to Deb again, and, I think you guys can discuss it. I think the best thing to do at this point would be, there are grants available, to get, we can't get community crossing grants at the county level, but there are grants available to get, a grant writer to write, language to cover this particular subdivision ordinance. And Deb was here, reached out to me a couple days ago and said that she was gonna research a couple things and get back with us, but I don't think $11,000 is feasible for the day and age now to spend on a subdivision ordinance, but, that's certainly your guys' decision. Like I said, we can work on the, grant part if you guys want, but, at this time, I don't see it spending $11,000 with the budget like the architecture guys just said. you have anything, Cindy, I know that's up to you.
Well, the one thing that Deb did say in some of our discussion was that if we're still considering doing, relooking at the comprehensive plan, which should be done every 10 years, and ours hasn't been done since 2008.
Yes.
So we're
We're gone.
a couple of sections here. Yeah, it's not quite a bit behind on that. And if we tag the review on the subdivision in with the comprehensive plan, we probably could get grants for that.
What you're saying, we need to do comprehensive plan type of thing, so we can.
We just need to get it updated into,
That increases our likelihood of getting grant, correct?
and of course, it changed with when we changed it for Fernbury for the city portion of it anyway, so it would be a good thing to get it all updated. Obviously, 12 years ago, or what, 2008, is that?
Yeah,
A lot of things have changed.
14 years.
And the city of Delphi is reaching out and proposing a lot of projects that are great for the county. So getting this updated is something we need to do anyway, so.
Is there any chance at, like, cost sharing with some of the cities, you know, like Burlington, Delphi, or Florida, because they all got subdivisions?
Florida's got its own. So.
Oh, yeah,
Florida
Florida's
owns,
on its own.
and Delphi has their own subdivision ordinance. Obviously, Yeoman doesn't, I don't think Yeoman has one, but I'm having a hard time locating their ordinance, but it's something we could ask, would it happen?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because we kind of look and handle all their building and zoning and all that, so we're probably not going there. I mean, I could ask, but there's quite a bit involved with it. I mean, the good thing is we have a comprehensive plan, so it's there. We just now got to remold it to 2022. So it's not gonna be like the first process where, and there's a lot to the comprehensive plan. If you guys have ever seen everything that's involved with it, there's a lot to it. So that part's done. Now it's just getting it to the current year. So if that's something we need to do with GRW, we can research that. But I didn't expect it to come back this high with what we already had in place. I just really what I wanted was tweak to where it's user friendly for not only our office, but for the developer that comes in. Hey, where am I at with this? What do I do next? So that's something I'm gonna have to kind of get a flow chart on my own and just kind of streamline things a little bit better than what's been done in the past. So we'll keep chipping away with that. But that's the quote for GRW that we discussed last week.
So when you talked to Deb about the grants, did she say what kind of grants? Are they just matching where we have to come up with half of the 11,000?
She didn't really say a whole lot. She's gonna reach out to a few people, and that's the last I heard of it. So,
The one that would be connected with the comprehensive plan would be,
that'd be ours. We wouldn't split that with.
no, but a grant for that would be covered by, what'd you say, the C?
The community crossing stuff?
Yes.
I don't think you're eligible for community, can you get community crossing grants at the county level? I think
Community crossings is for roads.
it's, or not community crossing, but,
Okra.
Okra,
Okay,
yes.
that's it.
Yeah, those, yeah, so there's all kinds of opportunities, but there's also certain municipalities that can get,
So the city is working right now to update its comprehensive plan. We do have a $50,000 grant from the Office of Community and Health Affairs. And that's through CURBSI. So CURBSI can be your grant writer nowadays if you're a member of, the city is, I assume, the county is as well. So CURBSI will write the grant, to move forward with the request for a comprehensive plan grant. And then, I don't know specifically about zoning updates, but you really have to have the plan update before you can tackle that anyway. So,
right, so you might as well do it all at once. Yeah. Well, do that, yeah, I mean, you can't do one without the other, so. So,
I would say, give it to you and try to figure out if Purpsey can do the grant writing for us, and then,
Well, we
See if
could,
that's enough.
we work with GRW.
yeah.
Yes,
then we're with them.
they would reach out to,
Right.
and she listed a few names, yesterday in emails, and she said she'd get back to me once she made contact with them.
Okay.
And they were from Okra, and a few that she's used in the past, so. Once I hear back from her on that, I'll know which direction we're going. Just wanted to confirm that we weren't gonna move forward with this as is now, and go the direction of possibly doing the Okra and getting it all done at once. So, there's a lot to it, and it's very tedious. If you know anything about grants, if I was to write one, I can probably guarantee that they're gonna come back with it and say, I'm not sure who wrote this, but you did it. They're very, very tedious, and if one line's not right, they basically just shove it to the side and go to the next, because everybody's wanting grant money. And there's a lot of grant money available, so having a Okra or GRW do it is very, lot better, option for us to possibly do. So I can chip away at that, if that's what you guys like.
Sounds good to me. Okay. Okay, I need to entertain a motion to have Cameron look forward to look into funding options for the subdivision. Quote, comprehensive plan update. Jim, go ahead, second. Sandy, second. Any discussion amongst the board around that? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Budget, we have to have the budget in by July 1st. Sent you guys the budget yesterday of what we've come up with to send to the council. Obviously, we're still focusing on getting, our office administrator, a little bit, a lot better salary to where it matches, other offices and where it needs to be with the current job description. It's tricky this time of year with the fuel being $5 a gallon, so how do you judge what's gonna be next year? So basically, we doubled our fuel, which wasn't much to start with. I go out on Tuesdays and as needed, so it wasn't a huge jump, like a lot of the county offices, so. Other than that, really didn't add a whole lot to anything, other than postage stamps are going up, which we send out a lot of things through the mail. I did ask for a little bit more with the zoning ordinance, for the fact that, if we do some small things with GRW, we gotta have that money in the zoning ordinance. However, we will probably, if this goes forward, we're probably gonna have to be doing, a different avenue and asking for some additional funding. But other than that, the total budget proposed budget for 2023 was $156,706. So, if you guys see anything you want changed, or if you're good with it, I will submit this to the auditor's office, tomorrow, or Thursday. There's copies for you guys to look at as well.
Better late than never. Any discussions amongst us? The only thing I can think of is insurance car insurance seems awfully high, at $700 for one year.
That is a set rate that they give us, and that's what we pay. It's been $700 for, since we've had the car, and it's like, it's through, RME, I believe. Yeah, so that's what, and so if we put 700 on there, that's basically what we've been sent from the insurance company, that's for the entire year. So,
Okay.
yep, because we're part of the Carroll County fleet. So how they do that, I don't know, but that's what we pay, so.
Anybody else have anything else? I need a motion to accept it and move it. I'll entertain a motion to accept the budget as presented for 2023, so that Cameron can present it. Donnie? Second. Doug seconds. Any discussion, further discussion? All those in favor of approving the budget for 2023, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Real quick, I sent out an email, Family Dollar is now open, so, I know it's been through APC and BZA for rezones and variances and all that, so long process, but the doors open last Friday at 8:30 at night, so Tharp Investments, when they give out a deadline, the deadline's that day or night, doesn't matter, there's nothing that's gonna stop it, so they weren't ready, but at 8:30, they opened for an hour and a half and said, come on in, you can buy whatever we have, so, and that's exactly what they did, so it was a neat process, and, throughout it, I learned quite a bit of what I need to do when we have a project that's within the city limits, you know, just different things of communication, all that. This was my first from the ground up commercial building, so, I've talked to the mayor, I've talked to Aaron, and a lot of communication went on, after the start of this, so we're on the right track, and Family Dollar was a fantastic, company to work with, the contractor was great, so they didn't put the parking spot, or the cement blocks by the retention pond at first, and I kinda warned him that, you know, probably the first week, we're gonna have somebody backed up into the retention pond if something's not put in, so they added those, and now we're gonna work on getting some guardrail down the side. Obviously not up on the city part, but just down the side, because wintertime, someone slides off the road and ends up in the retention pond, it's a safety issue, so we're still working on it, but they are open, and, it's neat to see them, they're packed, there are a lot of cars in and out, so. Other than that, real quick, the May Township Report, Gloria sent out once again. Gloria does a great job, as I always reiterate to you guys, that's why one of the parts of the budget was trying to get, that salary we need to be. We had 11 new residents, and, this is year to date. 101 total permits, site visits 24, compliance certificates issued was 10, new addresses 3, variance special exception request 2, rezone request 1. We're still, even though the world is slow right now as far as new homes, we're still keeping busy with a lot of construction projects, so that's good. And we just got two Friday, and I think we're getting another one today, so it's starting to slowly come back as far as new dwellings, which is good. The market's, it's a struggle right now, so anytime we get a new application for a home, we're kind of celebrating with them, so that's all I got. Sandy, you can keep that copy for you. That's all I got. Thank you to Cindy, like always, for letting me text you all hours of the night.
Okay, Cindy?
And weekends.
And some of the weirdest stuff.
Yeah.
Just like, what? They wanna do what?
Yeah, we get a lot of stuff that comes in that I have to just sit it down and walk away from it, because it's, a lot of it is just, you just scratch your head and go, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, so, without Cindy helping me work through it, it'd be very interesting, but.
Well, he's good at saying, this doesn't look right, you know, it's splits, we have the biggest problem I would say was splits.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, okay, should that be allowed, should it not, are there any exceptions to allow it? And someone like, look at it and you're like, it's been split so many times, what the heck? You know, it almost, it gets to that point.
And then you go research it in the recorder or the auditor's office, and it was split, 10 times back in 1985. So, I mean, at that point, so there's a lot of research to it. And the bad part is someone has already paid for a survey once they submit it to us. So it's one of those where I've had to stop a few of them and say, look, this thing is, and if you want to come in front of the board, and by that time they just say, we're just not gonna do it. So, but some of them are very tricky. But
Well, and he's really good at, if we allow some in, but we know that's the maximum that needs to be split off, he puts on the orders that no more splits will be allowed in this property, so there'll be record at least, so somebody in the future is gonna know, oh, no. that's
Cause
right.
the last step is getting it recorded, so after us, there's 3, 4 more steps, so the last step's getting recorded. Hopefully, 20 years from now, if they ever have to do anything with it, they look at the papers, because it's highlighted.
The split information is reported.
That's all I got. Thank you guys for, oh, and I did ask for another raise for the board member like I did last year, so hopefully this year they, I had to write out a reason for each request this year, why I'm requesting, so, you know, it's hard to get people to step up to serve on boards such as this, so I certainly think it was warranted. It's not much, but it's what I tried last year, and they denied everybody last year, so you guys taking time out of your personal lives to serve your community, to me, is worth its weight in gold, as the board chips through all the stuff that we get into, so, thank you guys for everything you do, and letting me pester you throughout the week on my questions, that's all I got.
Too much more, but just spend a lot of time getting ready for, an appeal to the BZA. There were supposed to be 2, and I had to shut one down. They were not giving me any reason for the appeal based on our ordinance. It was all things that we had no control over, so I shut that one down. If that's gonna rear its head again, I don't know, but,
I was told if it does come back, that AT&T would, at that point, it's theirs. They say you just stay out of it. This company that does this does it all over the country, all over the world. That's what they do. It's their towers, they're supposedly losing money, so, it hasn't been fun, because they come at you with attorneys. So, my answer is, you can speak with Cindy, she's our legal representative, because I'm not gonna say the wrong thing. So, it's turned into, it's been a long 6 months with a few of them, so.
like I said, so, we'll see. But we do have one going on 2 months. So that's kept me busy. Otherwise, just the normal stuff.
Sure.
You need what we need to do, your very board things?
The additional.
Yeah.
That's all I got, so, right,
This is my last area plan meeting. I took a position at Western, as a 7th grade science teacher, so. Back in Howard County, 3 minutes from my house, get some nights back. But, so, this is my last one, my last day will be fair cleanup on the 23rd, so I am staying through the fair, so. Can't leave everyone
I
hungry
hate to
dry.
be the bearer of bad news, but as a teacher, you're not gonna be nice back.
That day she was like, go to school and 2%.
How many years have you been on the APC?
It'd be 3 years in August.
Okay, so about when I started?
Yes,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah, because we had to change your name on an email. That's
Yep.
right. Yeah. Well, thank you for serving on the board. You've been very helpful and very
I've
helpful.
learned a lot.
So, sorry to see you go, but that's certainly, that's what you got a degree in that, correct?
Mhm.
So that's good that you get to go pursue what you went to college for, and wish you the best of luck.
Yep, thank you, Kelsey.
The question I have is, our agent position that we had to add to the new, that,
Because she doesn't live in the county.
correct, so do we,
We'll cross that bridge whenever we get a new extension educator.
So my position hopefully will be posted in August, beginning
Okay.
of August.
so we have to wait to see if they live in or out of county, and then will that affect
That will affect probably Kevin.
Kevin's position?
You're not off the hook yet.
1 mile into Howard County is all I need. Yeah, so, okay. If you, I don't know if you can reach out to us, I don't know how we would find out who the Well, that will probably put it in the paper. It'll-
Probably.
Yeah, so we'll.
If they
find
announce
out
it,
who
we'll do it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want them to think I'm
Yeah.
stalking them when hey, where do you live? So, okay, well, thanks
Yeah,
again.
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else from the board? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Doug?
Second.
Jim seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
adjourned.
Good luck with your work.